Welcome to the 50-cent tour of December 19th, 2012. Only 2 more days until something happens. Hop aboard the Liberty Bus and let's get started with our tour for the day. Our first stop is one of my favorite blogs, Removing the Shackles. And Removing the Shackles is written by a lady, and she tends to have, obviously, a more feminine perspective, which I probably relate to a little more than some of the other blogs. Even she, who is often, very ethereal, talks about spiritual experiences, so on and so forth, looking forward to a change. Even she is focusing somewhat on what happened in Connecticut, and there's evidence that Sandy Hook is a false flag, no doubt. So, pretty extensive article here. Check it out. And my husband asked me to include this information. There are a lot of words being thrown around out there about guns and whether they're dangerous, how they're used, so on and so forth, calling for them to be banned. Check this out, Gun Facts, and it's just a great source of information. And here is a related issue related to the Connecticut shootings. In my mind, this is just extremely significant as an aspect to these killings. Fan-apt hoax hides real connection between shooters and SSRI drugs. There is really a remarkable connection, and this is from Mike Rivero, but I saw it on Rents, so I just left it, the link on Rents. More references to violence in SSRIs, and this article is kind of making the rounds. There are different places you will probably see it if you're out surfing Liberty and Truth websites. This is a list of people, mostly teenagers, who were under the influence of SSRIs and committed horrible acts. And if you read through this, man, have a box of tissues handy, because there is a lot of heartbreak in here. I'm not even going to scroll down. On a different topic, families hit after supermarkets hike budget food prices by as much as 110% in 1 year. The reason I selected this article to show you on our tour of the day is because one of the reasons given that many families don't eat healthier food, such as organic produce, more fruits, more vegetables, is because those foods are expensive. My suggestion is, if budget food prices are going up this much, that means your food prices could double. Why not just bite the bullet and buy the good stuff, buy the organic stuff? Just make the switch. Take advantage of this to change your life. The budget foods aren't that great of a savings anymore. Here is an interesting positive article from American Kabuki. Indian trust settlement payments released. Now the title is confusing because this phase in history of the United States, we would call this the Native American trust. However, when it was written, they used the term Indian. So this is good news. This appears to be a class action lawsuit settlement. So congratulations, Native Americans. Maybe they can reform the Republic or start a TV station or something. A Liberty TV station, of course. And typically I end with something a little more positive. This is 50 million reasons that make people think Obama is planning a civil war. Now, this article is about accumulating munitions for DHS, ICE. That is the focus of this article. I want to touch on that. However, it does make sense that with some of the things that are going on now, that perhaps Obama or those who control him do want to trigger a civil war, because this pressure about arms, the right to have semi-autos, the Second Amendment, this pits brother against brother, as the Civil War that was fought in the 1800s did. And this could perhaps be the kind of issue that would trigger a civil war. And if they can get us fighting with each other, we are not opposing them. And we need to be opposing them. And I have had some thoughts about setting the agenda. You know, when you go to a meeting, whoever sets the agenda controls and directs the meeting, whether they're the person at the front with the gavel or not. And I think in some of these events, 9/11, the various false flag events, and even maybe some that are genuine events, they get manipulated, although I think the huge share of them are false flag. But in doing these things, they set the agenda. And the argument has to be about what they want the argument to be about. And right now they want the argument to be about the Second Amendment. We need to learn how to set the agenda. We need to learn how to not fight with each other. We need to learn how to oppose the evil people. You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And guys, it's time to recognize our friends. And here's a guy who tried to set the agenda for the Who's. And he's listening to hear the Who's cry on Christmas morning because he took all their goodies away. And I guess he's, you know, a little bit of a demon here, looking for some loosh, trying to get that negative emotion rush. And he thought he set the agenda for the Who's, but he hadn't set the agenda for the Who's, because the Who's stayed on their track, got up Christmas morning and sang Wahoo Flores, and changed the course of Whoville history. So thank you for tuning in, for climbing aboard the tour bus for our 50-cent tour of the day, which is a She Who Will Walk in the Dark production. And, you know, whatever you do, don't be afraid, because every morning the sun comes up. So take care. Have a great day.